if you'd like. Thanks, guys. You didn't have to do that. So as you know, this is an interactive event, which means that I respond to your comments, the things you say to me right here on this page, which you're watching right now, which I am getting ready now to load onto this screen so that we can see your comments, but it's a process. And so it's just something you have to bear with me on every single time. But then we get to be in communication, which is what this is all about. Folks, I have some challenges for you today. Are you up for it? I hope so. Bob Doyle, Law of Attraction Resources. That's where I'm headed right now. And let's just make sure I'm online. There I am, looking just exactly like I do. And now I have to do my little magic to send this iPad over here onto this screen, which is what it's in now. And I see that Marion is here, and Jerry and Sean is watching with me. I don't know what that means. That's a new one. I've never seen that. Sean Diggory is watching with you. I don't know what that means. And Dawn is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Dawn Peacock Owens, as you can see, has entered the room, and let's give her a little extra attention today. And I'll tell you, and Mary and I will address that in just a moment. I will tell you exactly why, because tonight I will be on her podcast. I will be like her CBD Talk podcast. I am a person who knows next to nothing about CBD, and we're going to learn all about it together on her show tonight. With me, not me hosting it. She's hosting it. I'm just doing all the talking and interviewing, I guess. Interviewing, not the talking, the questioning. Anyway, Dawn, if you want to type how to listen to the show in the comments, that'd be awesome. Okay, let's make sure this is happening. I don't know if it is or not. Yes, it is. See? Is that great or not? Look, this was truly last second again. This coffee is so freshly made, it's ridiculous, because I was sitting here at 7 minutes till the top of the hour going, wow, I wish you would hurry up, and then I had a thought, and it led to a chain of events which made it once again last second going live. Hi, Sarah Jane. Dawn says I'm taking it over tonight. You're on your smartphone on Facebook. Okay. And Charlotte is here too. Charlotte, a verified owner of a Bob Doyle Show coffee mug. I don't have the normal picture of her holding it that I normally do. That is ready when I'm doing the actual Bob Doyle Show, which you can hear and see and hear it. You might say you can sear it on Fridays at noon Pacific. Welcome to all of you who have joined, who are new. If you are new, it would be awesome to say hello. Vicky met me at Christie's event, and thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that, what you said about liking my broadcast. If you don't believe me, everybody, it's right there on the screen. I'm not making this up. There you go. There's our plug. There's our plug. Denise has also joined us. Well, wonderful. Here we all are, all nice and cozy. So I want to make an announcement right up front about next week's program here, okay? A lot of people have been, a lot of people who know about this whole thing have asked me a lot about when I'm going to do this. And originally I was going to do it as a standalone webinar type of deal, but you know what? Hello Nesreen and Denise, I'm good. The whole webinar model thing, I don't know. I guess I'm just over it. As I continue to walk away from the old way of internet marketing, there's just something about that whole conversation that makes me want to take a shower. So what I want to do is do it here. And it really was originally designed as a webinar / presentation, but there's nothing to sell at the end. Isn't that weird? Wait a minute, Bob. Hold on. Wait. Let me just get this straight. You're in the personal development industry, right? Well, kind of. And you're going to do a webinar, a presentation, some sort of a training, right? Yes, that's what I'm saying. And you're going to do it here next week for free, right? Right, exactly. I'm going to do it for free. And then at the end, you're probably going to say something like, now, if you'd like to dive deeper, I've got this program. No, I'm not going to do that. Well, then you're selling some coaching. No, I'm not doing that either. You're giving away a free thing. No, I'm not doing that. Well, I am giving away a free entire training, but there's nothing, no opt-in. Who are you anyway, and why do you keep asking me so many questions? What is Vortex? Well, there's a new one on me, ladies and gentlemen. Ishika, I don't understand really the question. Vortex, that could be so many things. Let me finish what I'm saying here, and then I'm going to see if I can remember what Marion's question was. Oh, about focus. And then I've got a couple of other little things, and you can keep asking me questions, but if I forget. Hello, Leslie. Okay, well, I'm glad you're excited. And Vicky has joined too. Awesome. We've just got the best of the best in the house right now. So next Wednesday, instead of doing the normal Q&A here live, I'm going to do this subject. And so here's the subject. As some of you know, on January 2nd of this year, I gave up alcohol. I just said, you know what? I'm done with this. And I love good beers and I love good wine, and I assumed it was going to be something that was going to be very difficult and you move through and, all that. I'm 50 years old. Alcohol's been in and out of my life since I was, late teens, whatever. And I just, I woke up on January 2nd and I just reassessed my life and its direction, and through this inquisition, I came to. There were many things that happened that day that I will talk about next week, that created a whole new trajectory for my life, both personally and professionally. But giving up alcohol was one of those things, and as a result of doing that, I lost, a lot of money. I lost a lot of weight, not money, but I said money. That is too freaking hilarious, especially given how much money I saved as a result of not having wine with dinner every day. But that's just so funny. I looked over here at your questions and something about money came up and I said I lost a lot of money. Sorry, I'm still amused by that. It's going to take me a second. No, I did not lose a lot of money. I saved a lot of money. Yes. Lost a lot of weight, and had so many other gains in my life as a result of this. Now the webinar, the training next week, the show next week will not be about alcohol per se. It's really about giving up behaviors that are blocking you, stopping you from living into your full vision. Okay, so it can be any behavior. It can be self-sabotage. It can be alcohol, it can be whatever it is that it's a behavior in your life. It could be eating, right? That is not in alignment with your vision, and you've tried everything to change the behavior, right? So that's what the webinar, okay, I'm gonna call it a webinar by accident, okay? Oh, okay, so Vortex you're talking about in the Abraham Hicks world. Then you should really, because I'm not one of these people who knows everything they've ever done or said or reference. I'm familiar with it, but I'm not a deep dive with their stuff. So, okay, let's see, where was I? All right, so anyway, that's next week. So I'm going to step you through the entire process that I went through to reach what I call the click. Got to call it something. So we call it the click, and I say we because that's what me and Lynn decided to call it, the click. So it's getting that click, which means that point of no return, where once you reach that point, there's nothing that anybody's going to say or do or circumstances that are going to arise to make you go back to the old behavior, right? So that's what we want. And I've reached the click in several times during my life, and this was probably the most quote-unquote important and long-term relevant click. So it made me think, well, what do I do to do that? And this process that I went through on January 2nd, which I'll step you through, that is simple in its approach, but really powerful if you do it, that helped me to get to that point of no return in terms of alcohol and also my eating, things like that, which led to all sorts of positive things and not a loss of a lot of money. Okay, let's see. Okay, will you post something for us this week to get others to join? You mean for this? Well, you can always share this broadcast, just, facebook.com/BobDoyleLOA, and let people know that I'm doing that next week. And I would love it if you would share about this, because this is definitely a topic that it kind of goes beyond just law of attraction. It's really about a lot more, as you can imagine. If there's something in your life, a behavior that is in your life that is stopping you from living what you're here to live, then clearly if we can help clear that up, that's a good thing. And so if you know people like that, I'd love for you to tell them about it. But I don't have anything more formal than just this. Now I will say, if you don't already get notifications from me via Facebook or on your desktop, if you scroll up and look at the description of this video, there's a link there that you can click where you can be notified when we go live here, and so you would get that again next week. I'm also, if you're on my email list, I'll be sending out an email about this tomorrow, which you'll get tomorrow morning, and then again next Wednesday morning as a reminder. This is not an invitation for you to jump on my email list because, as many of you know, that will be irrelevant for me soon. I'm just giving you an opportunity to, if this sounds interesting and you're afraid you'll forget, you can make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. Now let me address the focus issue real quick that Marion had asked. I don't know that I can scroll back to. Oh gosh, I can. Isn't that wonderful? It was way up here. We had so many conflicting things. Focus on what you want, then don't, or focus constantly. Okay. So this is one of those highly misunderstood because people are so dogmatic about it. Yes, you have to do it this way or don't do it this way. Of course, it's very confusing to people who just want to know, do you focus or not? What's most important on any of this stuff, focus is a type of visualization, or it's a way to implement, it is visualization basically. You're focusing on what you want. But just like a vision board that causes you to look at it and go, I'll never get all that, it's the same thing with focusing on your vision. If you focus on it constantly, but you constantly are having trouble buying into it, or it's constantly just bringing up resistance like this will never happen, then you do not want to focus on it. Focusing constantly and feeling like you do is a form of attachment. In other words, it's like, oh my God, if I don't keep focusing on it all this time, it won't come, which opens up this huge energetic space of it not coming. You're creating a barrier to it just in that focusing with that intent, with that fear wrapped around it, that if I don't focus, I'm doing it wrong and it won't come. Do you understand that? Do you understand how your vibration gets infused? So even though you're doing all the right law of attraction techniques, it's infused with a fear or a worry or a some kind of anxiety around the actual doing of the technique itself. Should I be focusing? What if I screw it up? That will not bring you into alignment with having what you want. Focusing on your vision should bring you into the alignment, that wonderful energetic feeling of, I have this now. This is what this feels like to have this vision, right? That's what focusing should do. If it feels like a burden or if it brings up a bunch of stuff, it's not serving its purpose unless, are you just like, what? Unless what, Bob? Unless you use what comes up for you, those negative feelings, as a catalyst for doing some release work with EFT or Sedona method or any of these other release techniques that help you deal with the resistance, those limiting beliefs or whatever that come up in those moments as you try to focus. And then those are voices that say, you'll never have this, right? And makes the focus thing a frustrating endeavor. I hope that was clear, because I just don't think I can say it any clearer. Okay. I want to, so I have this challenge for you, and I'm going to introduce it to you in this way. Now look, first of all, nobody likes to hear about anybody else's dreams. I don't care what they say. If they listen to you, it's totally because they're being polite, unless they're like a professional dream interpreter. But when you go to anybody and you say, I got to tell you this dream, they may smile and go, okay, but trust me, nobody cares. I'm sorry to be that harsh, but it's just sitting through somebody's dreams. Oh, am I right? It's brutal. It only means something to them. Having said that, I'm about to tell you this dream I had last night because I'm going to make it mean something for you. Otherwise, I swear I wouldn't do it. I'm going to make it really quick. But I had this dream that I was back working in an office. And I was me, 50 years old, all my life experience, having done what I've done. Somehow I'm back in an office. But at least it was an office. But it was one of these situations where I didn't really have a grasp on what I was supposed to do. Now, this came from, I don't know if any of you watched Seinfeld. Certainly some of you watched the Seinfeld series, and there was an episode where George goes to get a job at this place, and he wasn't really even sure if he was hired or not, but he goes in and somebody hands him a file full of papers, and it's the Penske file. Right? His boss, who he wasn't even sure if he's hired him or not, is out of town. He's got this file. He has no idea what to freaking do with it. So the whole week he's like, the Penske file, the Penske file. The boss comes back, looks at the Penske file, and or the Penske comes in and says, you haven't done anything on this. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is his job was the Penske file, and he had no clue what he was doing. When I first got a job for an HR organization they were in HR at first. Are you following me on this? I was given this project and I had no clue. I was qualified for the job they hired me for, and then they gave me a different job. And I'm looking at this thing going, oh my God, it's the Penske file. I have no idea what to do, and I'm going to have to fake my way through this. So that's what it felt like in that dream. Okay, I should have rehearsed that part of the story. That was not concise at all. C- on the setup. Oh well, thank God this is free. Am I correct? All right, so I'm in this. So this is the dream. I'm in this job. Why am I in this job? And then this boss manager person calls me out of that office thing and is showing me all the cubicles out in this big open space, and he's saying, you know, next week we're going to need to move you out here. So now I've been demoted from an office to a cube in a job where I have no idea what I'm even doing. And I'm going, so, you know, my entitlement kicks in my dream world, and I'm like, look, in my mind, I'm going, I was in the secret. I'm 50 years old. I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this. Hey, Romy, I'm not doing this cube nonsense. Why am I here? Why couldn't that have been one of those times when I was in a dream? I mean, knew I was in a dream. So now, end of dream story. That was my nightmare. For a lot of people, it is their real life. It may not be the Penske file where they don't know what they're doing, but they are in a space that is like, this is so not who I am. This is so not why I am on this planet. Why am I reporting to these people? Why am I being told I must do this way? What the hell happened to my life? Oh, it got real all of a sudden, didn't it? Now, I know a lot of you who watch this show are like entrepreneurs. And maybe this doesn't apply to you. And that's great, because truly, I guess if you were working in a cube, you probably wouldn't be able to watch this show. So tell all your cube friends about what I'm saying. Even if you're not in a cube, even if you're doing something that, even if you are an entrepreneur, look, here's what happened to me. I started my whole law of attraction business, if you will, 12 years ago, and I loved it, was passionate about it, but over the course of time it evolved and things happened in the internet and the whole industry which made me go, wow, this part isn't so fun anymore. But I just kept doing it. Can you relate to any of that? As you're an entrepreneur, have you gotten stuck in a rut? Are you doing things you don't want to do? Are you justifying not loving every day? All right, let's see. Hold on. I'm looking at some of your dream interpretation comments, keeping it real. And Leslie says, but it does, and I don't know what she's referring to. Maybe applies to any of you. That's my intuitive hit. But the entrepreneur thing, maybe that. Maybe you've evolved into a version of this dream of yours that isn't your dream, and now you don't know how. You feel stuck or whatever. Or this is the key dirty word: rationalize. So this is my challenging question to you and anyone who ever watches this, and one that I am asking myself more and more, and certainly it's part of what happened to me on January 2nd, but it just hits all new levels. Yes, as an entrepreneur. Okay, yes, it does. So ask yourself this question. What are you best at? Not best in the world. What's the best thing, for you? You do it best. Of all the things you do this best, and you're the most passionate about. The thing you love to do that you're the best at. That combination. Okay? So stop thinking for the moment about money, career, business. Stop thinking about any of that and what you're doing now. What are you best at that you love doing? So Romy feels like this. So this is the big question. And it seems so freaking obvious. But why, if you know this, if you know what you're best at and you know what you're passionate about, why would you not spend every available moment making that your living? Whatever you have to do, whatever you have to do, whatever you have to learn, whoever you have to meet, wherever you have to move, wherever you have to go, to allow you to do exactly what you're best at and what you love doing. What is the rationalization? Well, I can't move here. I don't have the money. No, I don't know anyone. I don't have enough. You can, all of that, you can change if you really commit. If you're willing to, and I'm not talking about, well, I'm going to work this full-time job and I'll do this on the side with no real intention. Your desire has to be so strong you will not tolerate a life of doing something you don't absolutely love. To take the thing you're best at. The thing you're best at. Why would you not make it your number one priority to make that your living? So that all you have to do all the time is everything you love. You're the best at it, so you'll do good work. You'll find a whole audience for your stuff given the time and persistence. They're all out there. There's 7 billion people in the world. I've counted them. They didn't know I was counting, but I was. It looked like I was just sketching something, but I was counting. I'm really good at stealth counting. The thing is that, and this goes back to the whole school system thing that I keep going off on, because now as adults, well, geez, we've got all these, that's good, great to hear that now, Bob. I'm 35 years old and I've already got all this crap I've got to unwind. Well, that's true. You can still do it though. But this is the whole point about our kids. Get them pursuing that from the beginning. Let them honor what's in them from the beginning, so that all their time is spent learning how to make what they're best at and what they're most passionate about their living, so they can go out there and love every moment of their lives while contributing maximum value to the planet. And that's what each of us can do. I'm really clear, my favorite thing to do, and I've got a lot of things I like to do. I love playing video games, right? Especially the VR stuff. I love playing the ukulele. I love hanging out with puppies. I love talking about the law of attraction. But you know what I love the most is these freaking live stream broadcasts. It hits every single one of my hoorays because I can do all that stuff as a part of these things. Any of my computer animation, any of my music, any of my anything I can bring into my show and express myself. This is a platform, live streaming is a platform for my entire life. It's perfect. However, the technology is becoming available at age 50. So I have to start now to build, right? If this is all I want to do, because it's the thing I'm best at in my life, is combining all of these things. Right now, it's a non-money-making endeavor. I do it because I love it, which is the reason to do it. But why not sprinkle in a little intention that this is all I do? And somehow I find the way to contribute value, whether it's through entertainment or insights or whatever the hell I bring to the table, so that it's monetized somehow, whether it's sponsorships or whatever. I'm very clear I don't want to create a bunch of products and do the old internet marketing thing. Very clear. But whatever. Why would I not spend the majority of my time and energy making this a reality for myself? Okay, brilliant. What if one has come to a place where they don't know what the next step should be? Anna, yes, that's very, very common. And you're just in your head about it, and your ego is trying to keep you safe. It's making it difficult for you to actually even access what you might be passionate about doing next, because it feels very unsafe, this whole idea that, wait a minute, throw away everything I know to follow my dream. That's very scary, and the ego will put up a block. You don't even know what you want. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're fine. You're paying the bills. It's all good. Or you're not. But it's all good. The ego will tell you that. But it's going to very, very, very strongly resist going into the unknown. But I really want you to contemplate the logic of a life filled with compromising what you do for a living. Let's look at that term a little bit. We've come to make it mean what we do for money. But shouldn't money be the facilitation of living, which not staying alive, breathing and eating and paying bills, but actually living, like going, oh, I have this experience of the physical on this planet with all of this stuff I can explore. All of these emotions and sensations and all of this power to manifest my ability, all of this this technology. Holy crap. Every day can be magical. And we've gotten into this, I just got to survive another day at this horrible job. And I can't wait for that 3 weeks a year that I am allowed to do what I want to do. So that dream I had last night was a real big re-injection of you. No. Even on the worst entrepreneur days, it's better than being in that cube. Hello? Well, that was me trying to say, hello, Raylena. I failed. Okay. So, Anna, to answer your question, I think, you just breathe and relax and just start doing some writing or some free flow talking into a recorder or whatever, and just kind of brainstorming what do you enjoy? What lights you up? Just really take some time to reconnect with your essence. Whatever's underneath. And this isn't just you, but this is just the general, whatever's underneath the layers of calluses we've all had to build, justifying and rationalizing, compromising who we are every single day. I do have the best cup ever, and anyone can get one by going to bobdoyleshow.com/store. Hello, Sasha. Welcome. Terry, if I didn't say hello to you, I apologize. Now I get it. A ration of lies. Rationalize. I didn't comment on it before because I couldn't put it together, but Terry, thank you. See, just took a little bit of time. I needed a little extra time because I was filling my brain space with what I had to say. So that's really it in terms of what I brought prepared to the table to throw at you in terms of asking yourself. But my God, do we compromise our lives away, don't we? And rationalize why we should or have to or don't have a choice in the matter. If we put half as much energy into the rationalizations of why we can't do it, into actually taking action toward doing it, we'd get there. However long it takes. Guys, people have been complacent to never get there. So, what if it takes you a few years to get there? Be worth it, because then that day will come. And if you never start taking that action, then a few years from now, you'll be in the same place. And I'm telling you that with our kids, we have the opportunity now to come in when they're 11, 12, and 13 and watch closely what they love to do. Watch closely how their brain works and really feel into what they're being pulled intuitively to do, what gifts they really have, what value they have to contribute that's innate in them. You can see that in children if you don't squish it back and tell them, no, this is the way to go, and actually cultivate that and help them create that early. So that by the time they are out there ready to be an adult making money, they've perfected their craft of whatever it is. They've got great sense of self-esteem and confidence. They love themselves. They love what they do. They're ready to make a positive contribution, so completely opposite of what is happening now. Oh, dear me. My morning ritual. Honestly, it's not going to impress you because it involves waking up and making coffee and checking email. I know you want a day. Well, first I go into a quiet space. I put on some music. I turn off all electronics. I close my eyes and I go within and I think of all the things I'm grateful for. Right? That's the answer you wanted. Something along those lines. Well, we spit the truth here is what we do, and that's not how I start my day. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do some of those things. Meditation is definitely a part of my everyday, but it's not a ritualistic thing. It's like I know when I need it and I take it. Right? So that's just, those kind of rituals are not things that I have ever incorporated into my life. There are principles and ideas that I always have access to, so if I'm going down a road or if I'm spiraling into an abyss of some kind, I know what to do. Right? And I know also when it's time for my brain to stop. And that's when I'll go find time for meditation, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. So I guess if there's anything I do ritualistically, it is to try at least to check in with myself and say, Bob, do you need something now? What do you need to do now to take care of yourself if you're not right now? Let's see. Now I'm reading a longer one. So Caroline says, my husband was Rolls-Royce trained, and he was a good inspector at Rolls-Royce, Leavesden, and then the site closed, and then they closed the site. Now the Harry Potter Museum is on the site. He'd really love to be working for Rolls-Royce Derby and be a great engineer. Okay, so I'm assuming that that's what his next thing. I guess I don't know exactly how to respond to that. Let's see. Anna moved to Italy to study the thing that she loved the most, and now she's graduated. I have no idea how to manifest an opportunity to take another step forward. Visualization would be great. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So many of us think that. So now, and this is a prime example. And if it's not your exact example, Anna, forgive me for twisting it to make this example. But she's got her information. Now she doesn't know how to get the opportunity, and she probably believes there is a way to go get it, like a way or 3 ways or some kind of ways that she needs to learn to get it. And I'm not saying that there isn't. There's probably all of those things, like the right people to meet, the meetings to go to, whatever. But what I would love to issue this little challenge is to, I'm looking at the thing, she didn't say what it was that she studied. But you know, there's always that freedom to create your own way. To go, how would I like to do this in my life? This knowledge I have. Now, if there's already a system in place and you know this is the system I want to get into, then I'm sure there's ways to find out how to get into the system. There's a protocol. There's a way, you just call and find out. But if you're just kind of not clear, but you have an idea of like, this is why I'm passionate about this. This is how I see myself helping people. Getting clear on that kind of a vision. And then go, well, what would I have to do to create that for myself? What if I'd invented the way to put this value out there that doesn't already exist? Or that way that exists is so repulsive to me, right? Like I would never want to go through the corporate ladder, the old school way. If you don't mind doing that, I'm just saying there's 2 different main approaches. One is see what's being done and do that, or create your own way. You're an opera singer. Well, you know what? Immediately what comes to mind is a million different ways to get yourself out there as an opera singer. I don't know anything about the opera industry either, but I do know with the power of social media and creative videos and people showcasing their talents in ways that are not the normal way, not even getting on American Idol or something like that, but actually creating your own sort of brand somehow. It really truly depends on what your take is on it. If you've got an interesting approach to opera, if you've got whatever, you could create recognition for yourself that way, and then be sought after as a result. That's not an overnight process, by the way. It takes some time, but it is a new and different way. Otherwise, I guess, I don't know, you go audition for things? I don't know what opera people do. My favorite nonfiction book. Well, Happy Pocket Full of Money and Andy Shaw's a bug-free mind come immediately to mind. I mean, there's lots of great nonfiction books, but if I was going to, both of those are great for what they are. If you really want a deep dive understanding of the science and physics of like law of attraction and that type of thing, I would say to go with Happy Pocket Full of Money. Otherwise, if you just want to get your crap together in general, in life, eliminating worry and fear and anxiety and all of these other things, bug-free mind all the way. Romy, so visualization, she has a hard time with visualization. A lot of people put too much pressure on themselves because they think that visualization has to look or occur a certain way. Somewhere in some PowerPoint presentation I did years ago, I had some definition of visualization which I wish I could conjure up right now, but it was basically using your imagination to create a specific emotional response. That's the end game. That's why you're visualizing. You're using your imagination to create an emotional response, because that emotional response is what shifts your vibration into alignment, or not, with what it is you're trying to attract, depending, of course, on the emotion. So any thought that you have, any way that you use the imagination to create that emotion is visualization in the terms that we're talking about. Some people, they need to get it out of their head, right? They cut out pictures and they put it on a vision board, something they can look at and say, there it is. I don't need to use my mind to conjure images. Other people, they can conjure images in their mind just fine. They don't have a problem with it. Some people, it's really vague and they feel like they don't know if they're doing it right. See, the judgment and the assessing comes in, even on the processes. But if you can have a thought that makes you feel good, you're doing it. If the idea of living on the ocean can bring you that thought of that feeling of what it would be like to be on the ocean, congratulations, you're visualizing. In terms of what we're talking about, how it relates importantly to the law of attraction. Let's see. Yes, I know. Wait, hold on. So Don says, oh, when he gets his VR project, you're going to be so excited. I know, the VR thing. So I did a couple of VR recordings this week. I have to tell you this, because I'm working on now 2 interviews with developers of VR stuff, and one of them, let me talk about this for a second, because we're talking about visualization. And one of the reasons that Boundless Living is going in the direction of virtual reality is because it's such an amazingly powerful visualization aid. Because think about it, the whole concept is you put on these goggles or whatever and you're immersed. You're there wherever there is, whether it's a game or whatever, right? So one of the first things that Boundless Living wanted to create was a guided meditation app where you could choose basically, I want to be here, I want to be at the beach, I want to be in the mountains, I want to be in the forest. You could choose your scenes. And then you would be there, and then you could choose your music, and you could choose your, whatever the meditation is. And then you could be in that spot. Now, of course, most people close their eyes when they're meditating anyway. So the fact that there is this environment becomes sort of irrelevant for the majority of the meditation, but when you open your eyes, there you are, and before. It's just like think about it as like, you don't have to drive somewhere. You can go to wherever you would normally, if you go to the beach to meditate, you close your eyes, right? You're quote unquote missing the beach, but then you open it and you're right there. Well, 2 days ago, an app came out called Guided Meditations VR, and it's exactly what I wanted to create. And that's a good thing. Like, I'm not like, oh, in fact, because my motivation behind my excitement around virtual reality is not to go out and just outsell other people in the VR space, even the personal development VR space. I'm excited about the technology and getting it out there and getting awareness for it, period, making it a more practical thing for everyday life. And so that means I will recommend other people's programs just like I do right now, if they're great. And this is an early version of it, and it's got a few bugs or glitches or whatever, but basically the concept is awesome. And so I'm excited to talk to them about that sometime, hopefully, whenever they respond. And I will put that into the Bob Doyle Show in here or wherever it's relevant. Okay, so Amir, if I'm saying that right, I don't know if I am. What is the effective way to avoid negative thoughts completely? You can't. That would be inhuman, not right, unnatural, and not what you want anyway. The positive is only positive in contrast to the negative. Otherwise, it would just be. We are born with our entire range of emotions for a reason. Every now and then we're going to get off path. Something's going to happen. We're going to, have thoughts that don't serve us, and they're going to bring up a negative feeling to say, hey, wait, that thought process isn't serving you. This doesn't feel too good, does it? No, then let's change it and go back this way. Right? Negative emotions are there to serve us. It is a problem when we cling on to them and let them define us. Hanging on to anger, grieving for inappropriate long amounts of time, worry and anxiety, all of these things, we're born with them. We're not supposed to not have them. However, we do, as humans, cling on to them for far too long, and then that affects our vibration, our energy, our emotional state, which affects everything about our life. So it's about knowing why they're there and taking the signal, the negative emotions, taking the signal that they're giving us and making an adjustment so that back towards the positive emotions. But this whole idea that you are not supposed to have them is wackadoodle. That idea is out there, and so much pressure because you're trying to do something impossible. If you believe that the law of attraction won't work because if you have negative emotions, holy crap, you're going to go insane trying to push down the most natural thing, which is our feelings. So you recognize them. If there's something to process, you process them, and then you release them. That's how we're made. That's what we're made to do. But we get them stuck in us for whatever reasons, because over the course of generations we've learned things like guilt and shame and all of these things, fear, that have been taught to us, and now they're in our body because we feel like we should be this angry or should be this upset or this jealous or whatever. So it has become out of whack, but there are tools to help you with those things like emotional freedom techniques, the tapping, Sedona method, meditation in general, just lots of things. But you can let go of the idea and pressure that you should only have positive feelings and that negative feelings are bad. Ah, that Buddha. He sure could say some things. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Thank you, Terry and Buddha. Yeah. You're going to have events that make you hurt. And the suffering part, the languishing in it, optional. All right. Oh, and we're helping Denise so much. It's in print. It says right here, you can't deny it. You do not hear a cat, Anna. We don't have a cat. We have a dog who does not sound anything like a cat. Okay. Now I'm just trying to scroll back and see if I've missed anything. All right, so Terry, I see the word help. So let me read it. I was on a good roll with being able to bring things to life. However, I've had some external problems going on with family and friends, and it's messing with my energy. I've been using EFT and started in the Sedona method. I'm still having issues. Help. All right, well, I would need to know, which is private, and we do not need to discuss this here. But probably some details, because a lot of times when it comes down to releasing, if we're doing it all on our own, whether we're using EFT or Sedona or whatever, we're seeing in ourselves the things to tap on, that which we are willing to let ourselves see. Does that make sense? In other words, we will allow ourselves to acknowledge this is an area of resistance. I can see where I've got a limiting belief on this. And then there are some areas where our ego will not let us see it. And that's when you have to go to the outside, who's somebody who understands this conversation and can get in there, and that's a coach or a practitioner or just somebody who knows this conversation, not just your friend with an opinion. So Caroline says you have to live, laugh, and live, love, and laugh. It says you have to. You don't have to. You should. You can. It's there available for you. But people certainly choose the other way. So it's obviously not a have to. But it certainly is what we're here and built to do. To be alive, to love unconditionally, and to laugh, which is one of the most blatant expressions of, oh my God, I'm loving this. Right? So it is the stuff of life, living, loving, and laughing, for sure. And it should be the goal and aspiration of all of us to do those things. But some people choose otherwise. And it's because of the school system. All right, that was too much of a blanket statement, and I cannot back that up. So, let it be stricken from the record. Ooh, we are on the verge of lukewarm, which is totally not the edge of glory. All right, let's see. It's a you get to. Thank you, Terry. Once again, Terry coming in with words. All right, hold on. I'm going to scroll up a little bit more and see if I lost any, if I missed any. You'll notice also I'm not wearing my glasses, again, because it was last minute. So Valerie says, hi, Bob. I love to do, I don't know if Valerie's still around because it's taking me forever to see her. I'm going to like her comment right now. Maybe that'll call her back in. Or maybe she's still here. I love to do many things, but my mind says I cannot make money from this. It makes me crazy. You, Valerie, and 8 gazillion other people. It's the biggest reason why people don't follow their passion, because they don't believe they can make money from it. But you have to break that down. And what is that belief? Why do you believe that? Because you can find evidence on both sides. I promise you'll be able to find someone out in the world who is making money doing what you love to do. So the idea that you can't is obviously not true. And I'm sure you can find a lot of other people who don't. And you'll probably find more people who don't do it because that's your belief system. That was accidental. But hey, it's some feel-good music, so let's just let it play, just for a minute. The iPad was falling off the table, and I went to catch it, and I accidentally pushed a button. So now we have this little moment of whatever this is. Goes really well with the environment, don't you think? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the woods. It's almost Bob Ross-like. If Bob Ross was doing a show in the 90s, I don't know. I shouldn't have gone down that road, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to the issue. It's nice to see me again having this show. Thank you, In Patrick Sison. I don't know how to read that, In Patrick. But anyway, it does look like a golf course, doesn't it? Is it a golf? I don't think it's a golf course. Is that a golf course? I don't know. Could be. I always just thought it was a nice little park, you know. I wanted kids and stuff playing in the background, but it is soothing. Yes, as Denise points out, changing your belief system takes work. And people who know my real hardcore thoughts on this whole thing are that the belief system thing isn't nearly as important as the knowing of something to be true. I think if you were to look at the brain wiring of beliefs, of things that are your beliefs, and then the wiring of things that you know for a fact, it would be much different, I'm guessing, at some level. Certainly when it comes into seeing external evidence to be in alignment. You're going to see much more external evidence of things that you know than just the things that you believe or want to believe. You hear a cat in the background? You shouldn't hear anything in the background. What? Cody. Hey, hold on. Cody's right here. Would you like to see him? But he knows how to move. See, he's just laying down on his back now with his belly up in the air, so I can't pick him up with one hand. He knows. He knows that I want to show him on the camera, and he's just funny that way. He just doesn't. I mean, obviously, I take a lot of pictures of him, but. Oh, you hear birds? Well, sure. You've got the nature sound. I forgot because I've got the volume turned down. So that's what it is. It's something in the background that sounds like a cat The nature sounds have something that sounds like a cat. I'm trying to turn up the volume now. I just hear birds, no kitty. I love me a puppy too. Yeah, so it's a bird. It's a bird, everyone. Just relax. There are no cats at the park, as evidenced by the large number of birds. You see, because the whole food chain. Okay. Are there any other questions? I'm going to remind those of you who came in late that next week I am doing a special broadcast on this instead of the regular open Q&A, although I will take Q&A on it. I will present the subject matter of reaching the click so that you can change any negative behavior you've got going on in your life that is not serving you by teaching you a simple process. I have spoken on stage on this one time and it got a really great reaction, a really great response, which is the only reason I'm bringing this to you with any confidence. I wasn't really sure, because it was such a personal thing for me to use this process to give up alcohol and all this. I thought, is this even going to relate for people? But it did. And so I'm going to, and look, I can't guarantee it's going to work for you. I offer it like I offer everything as a suggestion and something that I know can work. And if you do it the way I say, it probably will work. But I can never guarantee any of this stuff. It's really hard for anybody to really guarantee results in another person, because ultimately another person is always going to have the final say. This is something I learned when I was a personal trainer in a huge way. So I'm doing that, Terry, I'm doing that next week on this show at noon Pacific. So keep it right here. Should be fun. And again, yes, tell people, normally in the old days, meaning last year or whatever, I would have sent out email on this, say, come register, giving people reason to share it with people because, they can make money on something that I sell at the end, but I'm not selling anything at the end. So there's no motivation for people like affiliates to go out and share that I'm doing this, except for the fact that they care about people. And they want to help because I'm going to give this information out for free and I'm not going to sell them anything. But I don't have a formal way to have you help to share this. I'll tell you what I can do. Here's what I can do. I can create an event here on this page. I'll make it an event, and then you can share the event. So if you're on this page and you don't like it yet, what is the problem? It's a click of a button. Terry, I think everybody should get a coach if it's within their means. There is nobody who can't benefit from a good coach. Nobody. There's nobody who can't benefit from a good coach. End of story. Caroline says she believes in the law of attraction, but her husband doesn't. That's okay. Can't make them. I know that's a whole other hour we could talk about. The spousal relationship when one person believes in this and one person doesn't. But you don't really have to, you do not have to be dependent on the other person to believe it. But it can make things tricky. Okay. Oh, you guys are so nice. So nice. Yeah, so anyway, I'll do an event. And then, if you like this page, and why wouldn't you? There's so many nice things here. Then I think you'll get, I don't know, a notification or something when I create the event, and then you can share the event. I think that's probably the way to do it. Right? Anybody else have any other ideas? Anyway, I'll do that this afternoon, so watch this space. And again, like this page. Like this page. And don't forget, you can share this broadcast too. I think. Pretty sure you can. I do it all the time. I wish there was a love button, Caroline. Romy, you have to have an interview with the coach first. Most good coaches will let you have a conversation with them for 20 minutes or whatever, so you get an idea of can they help you? And if they can't communicate that they can help you within 20 minutes or so, either you did way too much talking when they asked you not to, or they're not a fit for you. Right? Or you just don't really want coaching. But you're going through the process to confirm that no coach can help you. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, there are those people who operate that way. They will tap every free resource they can to confirm that they are unhelpable. And those are the people that will, coaches, can I hear an amen? You know, they just want confirmation that their life is terrible, that the universe is up against them, and it doesn't matter what coaching you give them, they will fight for the other way, and those people, good luck. Good luck. I'm not saying they're unhelpable, and I'm not saying that some coaches can't help them, but it's going to be something about that coach that drills into them in a different way that you know, nobody else can. Why did I get off on that? There must be a coach out there who needs to hear this message today. I don't know which one of you it is, but I hope you enjoyed it. Okay. Hey, this you're having next week. You're going to have, I may not need one. You're the best. Oh, invite people to it. Great. So how can you find a good coach? How can you find a good coach? BoundlessLivingCoaching.com. There is a Boundless Living Coaching Facebook group. I think Facebook.com/BoundlessLivingCoaching. See, look, you asked. I did not come here to sell coaching. The concept, yes. But really, if you want to meet my coaches, you can go to Facebook.com/BoundlessLivingCoaching, and they are hanging out there, and they'll answer your questions, and you can meet them that way. But look, there's no shortage of coaches out there. Christy Whitman certifies a bunch of coaches. Some of them watch this show. Some of them, look, there's no shortage of good coaches. So what I would do is get really clear on what kind of coaching relationship you want. See who shows up in your space. Have a conversation. See if it's a fit. Whatever. You know. Okay. All right. I think I'm feeling a little complete. How about you guys? You feeling a little complete? I'm feeling a little complete. So, I'm going to start the music. Wait a minute. Oh, this one's still going? There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, both of you, thank you once again. Thank you so much for being here. As I've said, this is one of my favorite things to do on the planet, and it's great to be able to talk the law of attraction on this level, having this much fun, this directly, with no other agenda but to just do it because it's fun, right? So next Wednesday is The Click. This Friday, of course, at noon Pacific, you know the drill. It's the Bob Doyle Show, the seed of this entire endeavor. You must be a part of it. And tell everybody else to be a part of it too. That's what would really bring you the happy feeling inside. All right. We shall speak again soon.